Now I would like to invite Travis to please come forward and to honor L-Dogg in words of eulogy.
I accidentally printed this in like 8 fonts, so I had to get the glasses. All dogs go to heaven, especially the L-Dogg. I am honored, but this might be one of the hardest things that I've ever been asked to do. Not because I was given 5 minutes, not because I don't have the words, but because I was given 5 minutes. And I was asked to say a few nice things about Lance. I really struggled with what I could say that could capture who Lance was a person and what he meant to me. He was, after all, the man, the myth, and always the legend. I've had 100 hours of conversations with him since he left. I've gone through this eulogy 500 times. It's been almost impossible to put the words to paper. In a few words, you were passionate, loving, intense, and wildly chill at the same time. You were hilarious, adventurous, and you lived life to the fullest. You loved family, and you were always consistent. This was your ultimate Irish goodbye. And I am not cool with you being gone. I love you, I miss you. You have been one of my dearest friends for over 30 years. And if I'm being honest, your departure has gutted me. But as I look around this room, I know I'm not unique. You had such a profound effect on everyone you came into contact with. While your departure from our lives was very poetic and the only way L-Dogg could go, I know I'm not the only one that feels like a part of me died on that mountain with you. The history of the L-Dogg. We have some epic nicknames in our group of friends, and they come from just all different ways. Some embarrassing accident, funny joke, birth defect. The name just sticks and you can't get rid of it. Dr. Faraci made a poor decision in shirts. That was 12 years ago and he's still Dr. Nueve. I don't know who all knows this, but Lance David Walker gave himself the nickname L-Dogg. Who does that? Seriously. Riding down the road around 1997, he's like, seriously, man, I'd like you to start calling me the L-Dogg. I ignored him, but soon he quit answering to Lance and started referring to himself in the third person. And I had no choice but to adopt the L-Dogg. Everyone else did as well. Looking back on our relationship, I realized that there was not a more perfect nickname for you. Everyone knows that a dog is man's best friend, and you certainly were one of mine. You embodied the most desirable traits from across all breeds. You were the black lab of hunting partners, always excited, always enthusiastic, and always ready to go, no matter the weather conditions. And just like an excited lab with a duck on the water, you rarely listened to anybody. You were a pit bull willing to fight to the death in order to protect a friend. A Belgian Malinois, battle-tested, loyal, and proven. You had the energy and drive of a pointer, the work ethic and grit of an Alaskan sled dog. Your diet was that of a junkyard mutt. Your hygiene was that of a neighborhood stray. But unexplainably, your personal life was that of a champion pedigree stud. The destination or mission never mattered. Like every dog, you were always just ready to ride, with only one question: whose car are we gonna take? Most of all, you loved your pups. Regretfully, I moved to Texas 7 years ago, and it did not allow me to see you in your role as a father. But our many conversations, visits, interactions, and talks over the last several years left no question that you loved your children and your family with all that you had. Your confidence was contagious. L-Dogg got you. Lance, there's 6 of them. There's 2 of us. Man, I don't want to fight these guys. L-Dogg got you. Lance, it's 6 to 8 foot seas. We can't go out fishing. L-Dogg got you. Your adventure. I have so many treasured memories of time with you. Every near-death experience or story worth telling involved Elle in some fashion. We were in each other's weddings, and years later, we're there for each other through the challenges of divorce. Countless trips, covered 9 states. He taught me how to snow ski. He taught me how to kneeboard, wakeboard, fish, hunt, and how to enjoy life. He wasn't qualified to teach me any of that, by the way. It was mostly through trial and error. He was in no way a quality instructor, but he gave you the confidence to try. L-Dogg got you. In a way, he taught me how to fight, not by training, just by association. I had a fractured heel, broken ankle, a hip replacement, 3 concussions, and too many black eyes to count. And I enjoyed earning all of them with him. He would take a bullet for you, but was also the reason you were getting shot at. He'd give you the shirt off his back. It was a shirt he borrowed from Garrick, but he would give it to you. Anytime he borrowed anything, he put an L in there and it became a low nation. He was a great communicator. As much as he liked to talk, he was a great listener. He had his own form of sign language. He certainly knew how to talk with his hands when needed. Whether to move a couch or a body, he always answered the call. I'll be there in 10. He was the undisputed welterweight champion of Tigerland from 1998 to 2004, and always king of the dock. Unwavering in who he was, he never changed, including his haircut. Always consistent. Your laugh, your smile, your energy was the brightest light in any room you entered. The effect you had on people was not only special, but truly remarkable. You danced through life with epic moves and never lost positivity. Hard. He loved hard, he played hard, he worked hard. And when life got hard, you never lost your spark, your light, or your energy. Camps devastated, hurricanes wiped him out. L-Dogg's good. No one had the over on Lance. No one expected him to be an old man. And like Father said, he used his 7 lives long ago. He's been on the last 2 for a long time. He was fearless, full throttle, no brakes, full send, and an attitude that allowed him to live 100 lifetimes in 46 short years. With that said, I can't help feeling that you were taken too soon. I would like to conclude this by sharing a gift that I received a little less than a year ago. The gift came in the form of a letter that my dad wrote to comfort a dying friend. I found a copy of this letter the night he died, and it has brought me so much peace and comfort that I felt compelled to share. He wrote this to a friend who had just found out he had terminal cancer, a very short time to live. I'm sending this as a personal expression, as off book. However, please feel free to share it as you see fit. Having been informed of your situation, I wanted to share a personal experience that may give you comfort. Death awaits all of us, but now as it looms in your life, my brush with it may inform you of its lack of finality. To set the stage, in 2014, during chemotherapy, my lingual artery bust, a very large artery that supplies blood to the tongue. You've probably seen reenactments with blood squirting out at each heartbeat. Flying from my mouth and my nose, I got surgical rags and rolled them up, stuffing them down my throat to try and stop the bleeding. It wasn't working. The staff lined me up. There was nothing they could do. I was informed later that the medical staff, after a nationwide search, could not locate a survivor of this type of circumstance. At one point, as the bleeding continued full force, it came clear to me that I was dying. Having set that stage, let me talk about what came next. I knew I was dying because I felt something slipping away. I call it a life force. There is something in us that is hard to describe, an energy force. Mine was leaving and it became time to die. There was next to me sliding doors, oak with frosted glass panes. I had to reach back to open them, and I saw myself standing on the other side. I was about 30 to 35 years old. I could not reach the door to open it, and that's when, to everyone's amazing, the bleeding suddenly stopped, and I survived. More than what I saw, much more, was the feeling and understanding of what was happening. The step from life to death is no big deal. It felt natural, normal, just a continuing of life. Moreover, I realized that heaven and God actually exist right next to us. There isn't far to go, and I will never be afraid to die after this experience. However, let me assure you that what I saw was the real deal, and the real deal is that the life we have may be transformed by death, but that death has always been a part of this life, whether we know it or not. As far as the next phrase, I remember a story about Billy Graham, a little girl whose dog had just died. I asked Graham if dogs went to heaven. His answer said, "Do you want them to?" I know that I want L-Dogg in heaven, and I know that he is there. With that in mind, when you get to heaven, if you want to find me, try the pool hall. Have no fear, Sam. I took great comfort in knowing that this Irish goodbye is not final or forever. And when I find myself on the other side, have a stop at the pool hall and I'll meet you at the marina.
Very well done, Travis. You have honored L-Dogg very well. My friend.